Hello and welcome. So today we're tackling something that's, well, it's really personal and often incredibly tough. What do you do when you hit a major crossroads in your marriage? We're going to walk through a way to think about it, to really reflect on these huge emotions and decisions.
And let's just start with the big one. The question that's probably on your mind. Is it even worth saving the marriage? That is such a heavy question. And you know what? It is totally okay if you don't have the answer right now. The whole point of this is to explore how you might find some of that clarity for yourself.
All right, so first we have to look at the hardest part of this whole evaluation, how to recognize the signs that maybe it's time to leave. Because sometimes making that choice is actually the healthiest and most necessary thing you can do.
And let's be really clear about this right from the get-go. There's often this pressure from society to preserve a marriage no matter what, but that is just not always the right or the safest path. It is so important to know that sometimes ending a relationship is the most courageous and necessary choice you can make for your own well-being.
Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You are doing important work.
So these right here, these are pretty much the non-negotiables. If your family life involves any kind of abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, or even financial, or if it's just nonstop fighting, that relationship has become destructive. And especially if there are kids who are suffering in that toxic environment, these are not small problems. These are huge flashing red lights that leaving might be the only healthy option for everyone involved.
Now, this point adds a really interesting and kind of surprising layer to the conversation. An affair is, of course, a huge betrayal. But sometimes it can also be a painful wake-up call. It can shine a bright light on everything that's been missing from the marriage for a long time. Now look, the point isn't to justify an affair, not at all. It's that it forces a moment of brutal, honest reflection about the real state of the relationship.
Okay, so now we're going to make a really important shift. We're going from looking at the relationship to looking inward. And this really gets to the core idea of what we're talking about today, figuring out if the problem is really your partner or if it might be a personal pattern that you keep repeating.
This slide lays out that shift perfectly. It is so easy to focus on what your partner is doing wrong, isn't it? To make a list of all their faults, to build this whole case against them. But the much harder question, and the one that's way more useful, is this. Is this a pattern for you? Have you been in this kind of relationship before? Are you accidentally recreating the same situation over and over?
And this is the question you really have to let yourself sit with for a minute. Seriously. If you walked away today and started fresh with someone new tomorrow, is there a chance you'd find yourself in the exact same spot a few years down the line? Thinking about your own relationship history can tell you a lot.
Here's the real danger. If the issue is actually rooted in your own choices or your beliefs or these patterns you have, well then just changing the person you're with isn't going to fix the real problem. You might just be changing the actors in a play that's always destined to have the same unhappy ending.
So if you're thinking, okay, maybe it is a pattern, then what do you do about it? Well, this next section is all about that. It gives you some actual actionable steps for doing that really essential, deeper self-analysis.
And this quote from the source material just says it all, really. The key to solving many issues may not lie in changing partners, but in a deeper self-analysis and evaluation of your relationship. That really is the heart of it.
So how do you actually do this self-analysis? Well, you can break it down into 4 basic steps. First, you start exploring your core beliefs and your life patterns. Second, you take a really honest look at your own self-esteem. Third, you get clear on what crucial needs of yours are not being met. And finally, you think about getting some professional support to help you through all of it.
And look, the whole point of these steps isn't just for a quick fix to feel better for a little while. It's about really digging in to understand the root causes of what's going on. It's about getting past the surface-level stuff to find out what's truly driving the problem.
All right, so you've started doing this inner work. Now what? How does it all come together? In this last section, we're going to look at what it takes to actually build a new path forward for yourself.
And we have to be real about something here. Whether you decide to leave or you decide to stay and really work on things, making a change like this takes a ton of emotional energy. This is not a small thing. It's a massive life event, and it deserves to be handled with care.
And because it's so draining, trying to handle it all by yourself can be just completely overwhelming. That's why having a support system is so critical. You need someone in your corner to help you navigate all the stress and the complicated feelings that are definitely going to come up.
So what does that kind of support actually look like? Well, working with a professional like a therapist or a psychologist can be a game changer. They can help you untangle everything, from figuring out your priorities and really understanding those deep-seated patterns to just having a safe space to process your emotions and get clear on what you truly value in life.
And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. The idea of a first start is so appealing, right? But real, lasting change, it doesn't begin with a new person or a new city. It begins with a new level of understanding yourself. So the question isn't just, are you ready to change your life? It's, are you truly ready to understand yourself first?
Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you want to overcome betrayal, break toxic cycles, take control of your relationship choices, read How to Deal with a Love Triangle. The link is below the video.